Greetings all, and welcome back to another What the Fuck is a reborG podcast. I'm reborG. Got the co-host in the building, the host with the most, reborG. To give y'all a little update on him, he's doing a lot better. That his leg isn't bothering him as much. And, he's back to doing his regular doggy things. And, to get a clarification on that for myself, it's when it's time to go for his walk, he will jump high as shit at where his leash is placed up against the wall, and he's been doing that every day, and not having any problems. And I want to shout out reborG because reborG hasn't been trained in shit other than that pissing in the house. So any other thing that we, that he does, he hasn't been reprimanded about. So I stay in an apartment complex, and usually when I take him out for walks, he barks at people. I don't know if it's his defense mechanism or anything like that, but he will bark at any and everybody. Now, I can't keep him from barking at squirrels. I don't know what that is. So I just try to divert his attention to me while we're walking until the squirrel decides to go up the tree. Unless it's an asshole for a squirrel and he just sits at the bottom and waits for him to walk by. But as far as people goes, reborG had a problem with that. Now we can take our walks and he doesn't bark at anybody. And I'm proud of him for that. Now, I didn't beat the shit out of him or nothing like that, but I had to get in his ass a couple of times. Because even when some neighbors, friendly neighbors come up and, try to talk to me, he's tripping. But, after I've reprimanded, had to yell at him a couple of times. And I did have to whoop his ass one time because he tried to bite one person. He tried to bite the dude that stays underneath. And I just was not having that shit because he knows better than that. We don't fucking bite people. He doesn't fucking bite people. Alright? He's a barker, His bark is definitely bigger than his bite. And it has to be. Because reborG got little ass teeth. Okay? But, he's worked on this stuff and people can walk by or walk up to him with no problem. And, he just chills. And, proud of homie, man. You the fucking homie, reborG. Just a quick sports cap. Because, we go over it. It's what we do here. It's what I'm interested in. It's what I'm watching. As far as the hockey playoffs go, NHL, I'm liking Washington. It's in the conference finals. I'm an Ovechkin fan. Been a fan of his since, before he got in the league. Because if you remember, during that time, him and Crosby were, they pitted them up as a rivalry, even though I think they were drafted in like two separate drafts. But I've always been a fan of Ovechkin. Like Bucky Gitters, regardless of the sport. So shout out to them. And, I'm hoping the best for them. Nashville fucking lost. I'm going to just move on from there. As far as basketball goes in the NBA, LeBron James put on the crown and fucked the Raptors up. I definitely saw that coming. I don't, it's not just he knows he can beat them, but it's bad when the fans know. Fans as a collective already knew what was up. I don't think anybody, I thought they were going to beat them like 4-2. But to sweep them, shout out to LeBron. He does what he does. The Raptors, they fired the coach after he was reported to win the Coach of the Year. Is that going to be a part of the NBA award show? To bring up a coach who doesn't have a job when that one Coach of the Year? That's fucked up. You should at least be able to have your job for next year if you're going to be accepting awards. You can't be the MVP and then the next year you get put out the league. But that's crazy. Toronto, they need some work. Not a lot of work, just some work. They don't have any killers on that team. And when I mean that, I mean that G'd up, that gangster, that person that's going to go at them, that's going to go at anybody. DeMar DeRozan, props to him. Great player. Worked his way to being, perennial all-star and has really developed his game. But at this point, he doesn't have what it takes to get them to that championship level. As far as the rest of the team, they got good pieces, but they're just missing like another superstar. I couldn't tell you who. I think they really should be trying to get Boogie Cousins if they still had Dwayne Casey, but I don't even know who's going to be the coach, so I can't even speak on that one. The Sixers in Boston, that was pretty good. I could see that being a better series as the years go on. Both teams are young and promising, so I didn't see that one going 4-1. I thought that was at least going to go 6 games, but shout out to Brad Stevens. Popovich told the league 2-3 years ago that this guy was it. He's been complimented. Y'all know Brad Stevens got sauce, man. And Philly's missing another superstar. So the talks of maybe Paul George going there fit pretty good. You know, they need a shooter and not another primary ball handler, which I don't think is good that they would be considering LeBron. Of course, you consider LeBron because he's the best player in the league. But the one thing you don't want to do is take the ball out of Ben Simmons' hands and have him next to LeBron. And Ben Simmons not that good of a shooter. So, yeah, it's not. You know, it doesn't seem as if it will flow. The cohesiveness looks like it'll be off. But if they can get a nice little wing player that can shoot, you know, multifaceted, shoot, drive to the lane, got a little handle on them, defense. It's enough of those players in the league. I think they could, you know, put themselves over into being more of a serious contender later on in the season. Houston beat Utah. Houston got it. I think Mike D'Antoni finally has the players in the system where he's comfortable enough where he thinks that he can win the championship. Because, you know, during the Phoenix time, their teams were good, but you didn't see the teams as a threat to winning the ring. So, you know, good. Shout out to Utah. Nobody saw this coming from Donovan Mitchell, from the team or anything. But I think, as with any team, and you'll hear me say this as far as like off-season transactions, acquisitions, and things like that, they just need another piece, you know. If they can get another piece, maybe if they could just get Gobert to, you know, evolve in his offensive game, they might not need another piece, you know. But shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to Houston. The Pelicans tried against Golden State. We all saw we knew what it was. We knew what it was when we stepped through the door, you know. Golden State got the sauce right now, so saw it coming. I felt bad for Anthony Davis because he was visually upset throughout that whole series because he knew he didn't have the horses to compete against Golden State. And I kind of like that because, you know, it shows that the guy wants to win, has a will to win, and I can see, you know, I could definitely see him working harder in the off season to add something to a game that's already great, you know, and I like to see that, and not just players in general, but the best players. You know, shout out to him, man. Best of luck to him. Golden State versus Houston. If you like 3-pointers, watch. It's gonna be some scoring, okay? Can't tell you who I think is going to win. Not my job. Don't really give a shit who wins. I just know I'm going to sit back and enjoy the series. I think this is going to be a good one. And Boston, Cleveland, I see the King coming out. I think the fact that Boston is missing Kyrie, that's what kind of like, I'm not going to say messes up the series for me, but it is a little disappointing that he doesn't go back and play against LeBron. You know, I would want to see. I don't care about the interactions because you know that's how the media was going to play it, period. And they're going to still try to do it with Kyrie hurt. You know, are they going to speak to each other? Are they going to dap each other up? I don't give a shit. I want to see on the court basketball how, you know, the dynamic would be played out. I don't give a fuck if they're friends or not because it's not really that important. Okay? But I probably see the King walking up out of that one. You know how he do. Boston's too young right now, you know. I think, you know, this series will help them going forward, but not right now. And the second round of the playoffs was missing a lot of drama. I don't think did anybody win 2 games? I'm not even sure. I think all of them got beat pretty quickly. So it wasn't as good as the first round. But looking at the matchups, I can't say I'm mad. I thought Philly was going to win more than 1 game. But I'm going to be honest. Brad Stevens really adjusted. He knew that Philly was going to be putting out players that defensively couldn't match his players on offense. That's why he Marcus Smart in the post and Jason Tatum handling at the top of the key. Man, once again, man, shout out Brad Stevens, man. He's doing his thing. Not a lot of other sports news. Watched Lomachenko fight yesterday. Pretty much a breeze. I'm going to wait till he moves up in weight. He's a great, phenomenal boxer. His defense is great. His punching is pinpoint. But, I'll wait and see him fight some other people. Because, he's making them look bad. and this fighters that look pretty good, I've already spoken on this. But, the way he dismantles them, man, is just wow. Okay, that's enough for sports. I promised y'all this would be the hip-hop episode. And this is it. Without the Michael Jackson stomps. And don't think I won't be doing any other forms of music. I'm going to do the blues. I'm going to do rock. I'm going to do R&B. I'm going to do things like favorite frontman. Top 5 frontman. Top 5 singers. I think I'll separate that male and female. Best writers. There's other ones. Don't think it will be only hip hop as far as, this top 5 list and as far as music goes. But this is the first one I went to because, I'm so familiar with it. It's what I grew up with. Not my favorite genre, but it is one of my favorites, if you get that. Okay, first I'm going to be going over my top 5 rappers. This is just my top 5. If you don't like it, hey, oh well. I got Danny Brown, and I'm going to be giving an explanation for all of them. Danny Brown is unique, and, everything he does is unique, from beat selection to the way he raps, his tone, and his delivery. And, when I heard Triple X, that drew me right the fuck in. Like, I couldn't, there was no escaping it after that. Because I was on, and you'll hear me shout out this website a lot, Boxed In. You've heard me say it before, but they were talking about Danny Brown on the cover of a magazine, and they had a laugh emoji up there, and I didn't know who Danny Brown was. So I clicked on it, and it's this dude with side of his head shaved off, and he had a comb over that was flat iron. And I was like, oh shit, let me check out his music. I was like, if he looks this weird, I'm a weird person myself, so I figured, give the guy a listen. And that's how I am about hip hop. I will give anybody a listen. I don't think there's no such thing as bad music anyways. That's what my dad says. He said it either has to grow on you or you have to get to another point in your life for you to get it. And I understand that. As far as I go. I can't speak for other people, but for me and him, that's how it is. And listening to Triple X, I'm going to dive into this because, I'm going to talk about this later in this episode. It grabbed me. It made me listen, and I enjoyed it. Another one is Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco is lyrically talented. The bars are always going to be there. So, ever since DJ Absolute Ice Veins Volume 1, he did the mixtape version of, I can't remember the fucking song. I can't remember. It's the one he did on Food and Liquor with Jay-Z. And I didn't like that version that he did on Food and Liquor. The one he did on the Ice Veins was a lot better. It was, it was more gritty. The one on Food and Liquor, it was just polished over with so much pop. I didn't care for it. But Lupe is one of those rappers who I like the bars so much, I don't give a fuck what he's saying when a new album or a project comes out. I listen for the beats to make sure that the beats match, with him. Because I think they all, for me, they all have to flow together for it to work well. And sometimes he doesn't pick the best of beats, and that's like a drawback for me. But I will still listen because those words, those lyrics, he's gonna be spitting. And I've always been a fan of Lupe since day one when he came out. Revenge of the Nerd mixtapes and things like that. The guy can spit. I enjoy it. Just topics. He can go anywhere with it, and I love him. I love it. Continue to do your thing, Lupe. You got a supporter here. Third on the list, and this is not in order. I don't, have a greatest MC of all time because it's too hard. Because any day somebody can take this from this 5. Another one on the list is Devin the Dude. Now, this is Devin the Dude has a unique talent as far as my ears go when it comes to him rapping. And the fact that he can rap about the same shit in damn near every song and I still like it shows a true talent to me. Because the fact that he can go over the same subject matter, at least if he has 12 tracks on the album, he's going to do it for at least 10, and it works. Like, I find that to be great, because some rappers that do that, I'm not that big of a fan of. I'll give you an example, like Jadakiss. Jadakiss, gangster rapper. I'll never say he's buns, but I don't check for everything he does, because I know what it's going to be, unless, somebody tells me that he has a different subject matter with it. Can he rap? Abso-fucking-lutely. Enjoyed him with the Locks. Enjoyed during those mixtape periods in the early 2000s where he was on the radio getting down. But I'm not that big of a fan of, when he, the subject matter, And that's not a knock on him. That's just me. But as far as Devin the Dude goes, he does it, and I enjoy the fuck out of it. Next on the list, we have MF Doom. He's unique. There's no other way to put it. You can't pigeonhole him to any rapper trend, and that's not the only reason I like him. I like him because he can spit. He can rap like a motherfucker. Even when you don't know where he's going with the next one, he's a very unpredictable rapper, and I like and respect that about him. Ever since I listened to Mad Villainy, I was on it. I had to go back and listen to The Mouse and the Mask and Born Like This and Doomsday, Food, and it's MF is crazy, man. And last on the list is Mos Def. Now I'm conflicted with that because Mos Def is just musically talented, because the dude can sing. He has like great songs where he's singing on. Then he has a song where he sings in all Spanish, No Hate Amas. And, just a good artist. He's almost on the verge of not being considered a rapper. And, I just put him on the artist list. Like Andre 3000, extraordinary rapper. But when I enjoy your non-rap music as much as your rap music, I have to put you in a different fold. And when he came out with The Love Below, he took himself out the rapper. He took himself out the just the rapper thing, category for me, and I just can't consider him that. I have to put him as an artist, So when I do top 5 artists, Andre 3000 will definitely be in there, and Mos Def is close to going into that. But the majority of his music is hip hop based, and always been a fan since Black Star, Black on Both Sides, and will always continue, even with his last effort, the Static, and then he did the mashup, which I really don't count, because it's already songs I've heard. So, but shout out to Mos. Does his thing, highly respected in my book, and I'm waiting on the next project. Okay, next we have 5 producers. Now, first we're gonna go with Just Blaze. Always been a fan of Just Blaze, like even when it's not hip hop, like the Far Away beat he did for Marja Ambrosia. That was pretty good. I really liked that one. And what's the other one? My First Love by Carl Thomas. That was a good beat. I just enjoy the way he samples. Good, great producer. Always been a fan to this day. Really enjoyed the stuff that he did with Jay Electronica too. Even at times when I thought, he had taken a back seat, he still does his thing. Not in the limelight as much now, but if you do some looking, you can find him dabbling in beats that you've recently heard. Next on the list we have Madlib. After hearing Mad Villainy, that was enough. And then after that I heard the album he did with Jay Dilla. That was great. Can't remember it right now off the top. Don't feel like looking for it. But after I heard the Mission Stringed Out mix off that album, it was a wrap for me. Madlib does this fucking thing, man. And if you don't know, please look this dude up. And it's not just MF Doom. It's just the stuff that he's done, period. Like his work that he's done with Erykah Badu. No, that's not hip-hop, but those beats still knock, and you can still rap to him either way. Freddie Gibbs, Pinata. Okay. Now we gotta, and speaking of Madlib, next on the list we have Dilla. Now I wasn't that aware of Dilla until Fantastic Volume 2 came out, and when I saw the production credits on the Erykah Badu album, once I saw he did Didn't You Know, I was like, wow. And then when I found out he did the beats for Slum Village, because Raise It Up was my shit. Raise It Up wasn't that big of a hit, but it was something that they used to play on the radio here in Virginia on like Friday nights, Saturday nights, when they go into the underground section. And if you stayed up late enough on like MTV Jams or something like that, that'll be a time that they played that. So just Dilla was just nice, man. And once I found out that he did Running and Drop for the Far Side, it was a wrap from there. It was a wrap. He was a wrap, because I love the beat Running by the Far Side. He killed that jump. Sample selections, how he manipulates it, like Dilla's beast, Rest in peace, man. Next on the list, MF Doom, man. Doomsday, Food, the Herbal mixtapes. Man, this dude, man. I can't even use words, because I've used most of them for everybody else in the production list, but the way that Doom does it, man, that dude's crazy, man. And last but not least, I said that before in the rap section, man. Fuck. And I want to apologize if it sounds like I have like the Terrence Howard Parkinson's things going on. It's because I'm nervous as fuck. I know it's just me and fucking boy here, but I'm a nervous person, so I'm sorry about that. Maybe later on, I'm hoping that I'll get comfortable with this sooner or later, so I don't sound like Terrence Howard. But I appreciate y'all that come back episode to episode. Last but not least, on producers, we got Dr. Dre. Now, to me personally, I think Dr. Dre is the greatest hip-hop producer of all time. He's not my favorite. I will put Madlib or Just Blaze, as one of my favorites between those two. But Dr. Dre, for all the old motherfuckers, Supersonic, he produced that shit. Alright? Deep Cover, all you old motherfuckers, you already know this dude's list, man. And if you check and see what he's done that you weren't aware of, it's crazy. There's nothing else to say about Dre as far as music goes. So you support a woman beater? No, I don't support a woman beater. I support his music, okay? Anything he does with the music is what I support. See, people get that confused. Just because you say, oh man, I fuck with Dr. Dre. No, I can't fuck with him on a friendly level. I don't know the dude. But when a beat comes on, I will listen with no hesitation. You put Deep Cover on, Love and Lust by Jewel, which was also on the Deep Cover album, I'm gonna listen. I fuck with him. Alright? Don't pigeonhole me to be something just because I say I like somebody's music. Okay? I don't know the fuck they are as a person. Alright? And anything that people say about them, I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't speak on it. What I can speak on is the music, and I fucks with Dre, and I think he is the greatest hip-hop producer of all time. Speaking of producers, I'm going to go over my top 5 beats. The first one we going with is Dr. Dre. He produced a beat for T.I. called Shit Popped Off. This didn't blow at all, but and I'm not that big of T.I.'s rapping with this beat. I don't have a problem with T.I. I just don't think he fit the beat that well. But check it out. Dr. Dre, shit popped off the instrumental. That Kool in the Gang sample, and just the way those drums and that bass come in, man, it's crazy. Next on the list, we have Triumph by the Wu-Tang Clan. The RZA is another well-respected and just a great producer. Don't believe me? Go back. Go and check that shit out, okay? Triumph was just crazy. As a video, as a song, but the beat was just, it's one of those things that just captures you, you know, you just have to listen. Next on the list, we have E-Rule's Listen Up. You don't know what that is? Please, you know, that's the good thing about this, you know, this technological era, is that you can easily go back and find the shit. Now, if you told me in 95, go look up E-Rule's Listen Up, I would either have to request it on the radio and wait for them to play it, or wait for them to answer the fucking phone so I can request it. I'll wait for the video to come on. And if the video isn't in the circle of what's played right now, I'm not gonna see the shit. So shout out to the, you know, shout out to the digital era and you know, technology, the internet era. So, you know, people can actually go back. But E-Rule's Listen Up, sauce. Next we have Just Blaze All Right, that he did for Freeway. Not a big fan of Freeway rapping on it. It's okay. Freeway have done better, and there was other songs that he did better on this album. But this beat, crazy. You know, it's one of those beats that I feel inspirational about. You know, even though the song is inspirational, I don't need the words to feel that way. It's just one of those beats that makes you feel good. And the final one on that list, Goody Mob Cell Therapy, produced by, oh shit, damn, oh, I fucked up, I forgot their name. Oh, spam up the L's in the comment section for me forgetting about Dungeon Family greats. I can't remember. Yo, I can't. Organized Noise. Thank God. It was about to be 2-3 minutes of babble until I figured that shit out. Organized Noise. Cell Therapy. It sounds like a horror. The beat sounds like the intro to a horror movie to me. And just the way they come in with the pianos and man, that beat is fucking crazy. Those beats, of course, it's just 5 that I'm picking. That's my favorites. There's a hell of a lot more. And if you want to know, just ask. I'll easily tell you what I fuck with. That's what the comment section is for. But I give myself a rule of 5 so I have a basis and I have somewhere to stop. Because if I don't, it'll be a whole bunch of fucking babble. Some people think it is now. But, you know, you gotta square it off somewhere. Next, we're going to go over songs. First on the list is 93 to Infinity. Yo, this song is pretty much the shit. The video sauce. They was spitting. The beat is crazy. Like, it usually when it's multiple people rapping in a song, somebody overtakes the other one. Case in point, how people feel about Eminem outdoing Jay-Z on Renegade. You know, and sometimes in most cases that's what it is. But at 93 till Infinity, those guys were all on the same high level. Just spitting. Going in. Just killing the shit. Even if you were to listen to it a cappella, it would still be a saucy song. The beat is just, you know, the sprinkles on the cupcake. You know, the beat is already great. Like, this, parts of this song individually are great. So putting it all together, you made the top 5 list. Next is Control by Big Sean. I'm going to have to be honest. It's not because of Big Sean. He did okay up there, but the way that Kendrick Lamar, and let's not forget, because he gets totally overlooked, the way that Jay Electronica spit on this song, he almost made the list but of top 5 rappers, but due to him not having enough, you know, I needed more from him, and he doesn't, you know, put things out consistently. and that's not a knock on him as an artist, because I don't know what the fuck he's got going on. But for me to put him in the top 5 list, I need another project. But the way that those two spit on that crazy beat was enough. Alright, I could just go on to the next one. Next we have Waves by Joey Badass. I think this is just a beautiful song. The beat is beautiful, and the way he's spitting, as somebody who's trying to make it, I like to call it, a newer generation's version of like Juicy. Now, it didn't blow up as big as Juicy, and it's told as from a different aspect, but just the way that Joey was spitting and putting his story and what he was trying to do and what he's trying to get going ahead in this hip-hop game, it just all fit in together. Lovely song. I really fuck with it. Another song is Watch for the Hook. Organized Noise, man. Them boys are sauce, man. I couldn't put them on the list as a collective. I didn't want to, and no disrespect to them just because they didn't make the list, but they are fucking amazing. Watch for the Hook. This is another one of those cases where most of the people rapping, because it's Witch Doctor, 3 Stacks, Big Boy, Big Gip, CeeLo, Cujo, Timo, Kubri. There's 8 motherfuckers rapping on this song, alright? And all of them did collectively well. Now, matching that with that beat, I just found it unbelievable for, 8 dudes to be rapping on a song. And I'm like, God damn, man, the Dungeon Family on some shit. Y'all got 8 dudes y'all could put out here like that. And it was just great. Last on the songs list is Accordion by MF Doom off the Mad Villainy album. The beat is just soothing, like the beat. It just lulls you in. It's like this, it's like slithering like a snake. It just, it's, it's like slithering for the attack. That's just how it gets you. And how you can make a saucy hip hop beat with an accordion sample shows the, the genius to me of Madlib, and just the way MF Doom spits. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my top 5 producers, one of my top 5 rappers working together, and that's what it is. It makes a top 5 song. Bam. All right, next we have albums. First we have Danny Brown's Triple X. Now, for those of you who don't know, outside of the crew, I suffer from depression, real bad, like diagnosed, all that shit. I get a check for it and all that shit. It's pretty bad. And the way that Danny Brown was rapping and the beats that he put up there were exactly how I was feeling at that moment and how I felt at previous moments beforehand. I really liked, the first song I heard from him was Outer Space, and I fucked with it. And I, like I said, and like, most of the people on the list, just unique. It just stands out. For me, it made me want to listen. Just the way he was spitting the words he was using, how he was putting it together. It worked for me. And this album is just like that. Favorite tracks: Die Like a Rock Star, Bruiser Brigade, Blunt After Blunt. The whole album's good. But Radio Song, like, this just fit me at the time, and it has fit me in previous portions of my life. I related to this album, and this will always be a favorite. I always go back and listen to it. I'm not as bad with my depression as I was before. Still suffer from it. Still working to get better with it, but at this time, it was just fitting. Next album we have is Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. Life, Food, and Liquor, but it didn't have enough. It had weaker tracks that I wasn't a fan of, and it was just, it took away some of the grit that came with that Lupe. And I'm not trying to say grit as he was a gangster rapper or artist that was like that, but it took away some of, I don't know another way to put it. It took away something from him by trying to put that pop feel on it. Not on The Cool. The beats was crazy. Like, when your singles are good, when your singles can be listened to later on, because, you know, Superstar was okay. I fucked with it when it came out. But when you can go back and listen to those songs on top of the ones that you already like, I got respect for that. Gold Watch is the shit. And I know I'm not the only person who looked up everything that he was speaking about in that song. You looked up all those albums. Gold Yard Bags, all that shit. And that was produced by Kanye West, for those who don't know. And he's a great producer. We already know Kanye. We already know what the business is. But like I said, it was one of those times where the beats matched with how fucking clean he was rapping. And it was always, you know, it will always be one of my favorites. Always go back to this album. I love the cover art. And that's another thing. When I'm talking about album, I'm talking about all of it. The videos are sauce. The album cover is crazy. The Danny Brown Triple X, the picture of the face with the Molly sitting on the tongue. Yeah, artistic. The cool with the hieroglyphics on the front. Yeah. Love the way he was telling that story. For those who don't know, you gotta get into it. Just a good album. Third on the list, Mad Villainy and Just Like Accordion. Top 5 rapper, top 5 producer. Going in. When I looked on, because I heard some of the album, but I didn't go into it that much. When I saw the album cover, I instantly went out. Instantly went and listened to the whole thing, because it's a unique album cover. It's just him up there with the mask, and it's grainy, and it's you know, it sparked my interest. And it's, like I said, top 5 producer for me, top 5 rapper, masterpiece. Next album, Ecstatic by Mos Def. Top 5, you know, top 5 rapper doing this thing. And it was just a real unique album. You know, Casa Bay, that was sauce. You know, it was just like, the thing is, when you like complimenting all these things, I'm running out of words to use, because I don't want to use the same words over and over again. But if I do, at this point, fuck it, because I got to get through it. But just the beat selection was on point. The album cover, I guess that's what the jump was. He was jumping because he was ecstatic. Like the album cover. And just, you know, how he used the different genres and how he used different sounds. And, you know, Workers' Comp, and, you know, the song he did with Slick Rick up there. It was, yo, sauce, man. And last on the list is Camp Lo's Uptown Saturday Night. Shout out to DJ Ski. He killed this shit. DJ Ski, he could have easily made this list too. The only thing he was missing was some current things, and that's not a knock on him. But Ski produced a great album. Just the slang and the way they were talking, because even at that time, you know, I want to say, what was that, 95, 96? I'm only like 12. I'm from Virginia. I'm not from New York, so I don't know all the slang that they're talking about, because they're even using slang that wasn't, you know, used in hip-hop like that. They, you know, it was just a uniqueness about it, that the way they were spitting. And, you know, this is one of my favorite groups of all time. This is one of easy, like I, you know, this on the list, one of my favorite albums. Just the way that they were spitting in a different way that the beat would use. Favorite song up here is Black Connection, Love Sparkle, Black Nostalgia, Swing with Butterfly. That's my shit. Just a good album overall, man. And, you know, gives it that, you know, the, you know, it stands out as something that I've never heard before and probably won't hear. Next, we got to send love to the mixtapes, and this is the top 5 mixtapes. These have killed the game, you know. Not just this list, but mixtapes. Mixtapes at this point are just as good as albums, so, you know, I think they deserve the respect of being mentioned. First on the list, we got Revenge of the Nerds, part 1 or 2. It don't fucking matter. This is Lupe killing the shit, doing his thing. I've already went over Lupe enough on this jump. It's sauce. If you haven't listened to it, get on it. Next is Joey Badass, 1999. You know, it's a good mixture of beats, because he picked them and he did you know, That's one thing I think you should do with a mixtape, is don't put the burden all on yourself to produce all of it or have a unique producer. It's a mixtape. You can't get charged for it. You can get away from it. You can get away with it. Put some beats up there that you know you fuck with and that you know you can rap on, like previous beats from the past. And he did that because he got a lot of MF Doom, Ad Lib. He got a lot of beats up here to coincide with some of the beats that he had, some of his crew from Pro Era made. And this is just a saucy thing, man. It was just good to hear. It was like hearing the story of a kid from a different era. You know, my co-producer, my nephew, Mike Chimney, for those who looked him up, it was like listening to his story. You know, and even though I know for a kid his age to tell his story, it's just, you know, the corny line is painted so well, and I enjoy it. You know, World Domination, Penny Roller, Royale, and all that. I'm a fan of Joey Badass. He about an album or two away from joining this top 5 list anyway, so I fuck with Joey Badass. Next on the list is a kid named Cudi. Nigga. I don't think Kid Cudi gets the respect amongst the public like he does with other artists. If you listen to a lot of new artists that's came out in maybe about the last, I'm going to go 6 to 8 years, he is an influence to them. And this mixtape was part of it. Man, this mixtape has it all. And it's not just his singing. Cudi's actually spitting up here. Is There Any Love with Wale? He's spitting up there. Pillow Talk? He's spitting up there. Maui Wowie? He's singing on the chorus, but he's actually like rapping. Cudi is spitting up on this album. And I don't want people to forget that he was spitting. There was a reason Kanye grabbed this dude for 808s and Heartbreaks. And that was for his singing side, and you know, for that. But Cudi spitting on this album. Just the subject matter, of course the beats, you know, and just like the albums, the cover art for this in 1999 was crazy. Revenge of the Nerds wasn't all that. Yeah, that cover wasn't all that. It was just Lupe with a little black jacket, standing, and some old ass pillar. But you know, but a kid named Cudi, man, yo, that would resonate now. If you had it now, with the way the net is today, yo, I think it would be even bigger than it was back then. Next on the list, we have Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper. And recently, at least the last 10 years, when I go on my website, Boxed In, they used to always have the mixtape of the month. And when I saw this light-skinned motherfucker up there with this confused look on his face, and I said, Acid Rap, I've took a dab before, you know, let me take a listen. Like, I hadn't heard the 10-day mixtape before Acid Rap. So I listened to Acid Rap, and when he did good ass intro, I was hooked. I was already there. I was already strapped in my seatbelt, and I'm getting ready to go along for the ride. I'm here now. I'm not going anywhere. Pop popcorn. I'm about to get comfortable. Like, it was just, you know, the unique flow, the unique beats he put up there, the features with Sauce. Like, it's just great, man. Like, nothing against Coloring Book, but I think that Acid Rap will be one of those albums that I won't be able to put anything over. Not as far as like the mixtape, or just as long as good ass intro still exists, I will always go back to this. And last but not least, Young Jeezy's Trap or Die Volume 1. Now, don't get me wrong, I haven't picked a lot of gangster shit on this album. I mean, on these lists. And I don't have nothing against gangster rap. Grew up on it. It's part of my life. Still listen to it to this day. But I'm not no gangster. Know some. Affiliate with some. But I'm not no gangster by no stretch of the word or the imagination. That's not me. Not who I am. But I do fuck with the music. Okay? And Trap or Die Volume 1, I want to say it was beat selection. Of course, that pulled me in. But Jeezy was spitting. Now, Jeezy is one of those artists, like I spoke on earlier, who raps about the same shit for the most part. So I wasn't keen to listen to him after maybe about the second album. You know, still do his thing. You know, every now and again you hear something that you like. But I'm not checking for no albums from him. Trap or Die Volume 1 was just gritty. It was gutter. And I just knew that this dude was getting ready to blow up after this album. I just felt like, you know, he got next as far as the South goes. And as far as rap goes, I knew he was getting ready to be big. Now, I failed on some other artists that I thought were going to be big. And I might save that for another pod. But as far as Trap or Die goes, loved it. And next episode, I might give some love to the, you know, to the gangster rap portion, because I don't want nobody to think I'm a backpacker or none of that shit like that. I listen to all hip hop. I love all hip hop. Okay, for my old heads, I still listen to Sweet Tea. You know what I'm saying? You know that song. You know what I'm talking about. Doom 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 doom. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. Checking my mic 1 2 1 2. I'm here to entertain if this means you. Alright, so you know, I fuck with it all. The old school, I fuck with now. I can't speak on how he dresses or how he is all outside of rapping or his music, but I really fuck with Uzi Vert. That little Uzi Vert versus the world, really fuck with it. It damn near made the mixtape list. So, you know, I fuck with all hip hop. So, I might grab some more categories that I can do to continue this for next episode, because this isn't me as a hip hop fan. It's just a part of me. And, you know, I don't want to give you the whole, you know, library in one episode. Ain't nobody gonna sit here that fucking long and listen to me talk. My mama hasn't even listened to the podcast, so I know y'all not gonna do the shit. So I'm gonna go, you know, after going through this list, I'm gonna go back and, you know, grab some more categories I can get out of this to let y'all further into my hip hop history and, you know, things of that nature. But once again, appreciate everybody listening. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to continue whether you do or don't. Boy's been knocked the fuck out the whole episode. This might be the first non-Bart Boy episode. Shout out to the kid. I told y'all he was getting better. Be easy, be you, be cool, man. I'm out.